Hey family.
Hi guys.
It's Tuesday, so it's time for another short tip. This week's short tip is what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. What are we talking about?
A lot of times I hear couples say to one couple say to another couple, I love when so-and-so does XYZ. Why can't you be more like so-and-so? Or, I wish that you did things like so-and-so. I wish that you said things like so-and-so. Or sometimes people even say to us, you know, I love what you guys do, or I just love you guys. I wish my husband was more like you, or I wish my wife was more like you. And I'm like, that can't really be, because, you know, we're all who we are. And you knew your spouse before you got married. And that is who you married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who your spouse was before you got married is who you married. You don't get to wish they were someone else, and you don't get to change them into someone else. They are who they are.
I agree with that.
I don't know, that just kind of rubs me the wrong way when I hear that.
I agree with that. The person you married is the person you married. The quirks, the personality traits, all of those things, the way that they communicate, all of those things, that's who you married.
Yeah.
You run into some issues when you try to change your spouse into something else that you've seen.
Yeah.
So for me to say to you, hey, you know, I want you to say this like so-and-so does, or I want you to do this like so-and-so does, then we run into some issues, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. That's not to say that your spouse should not change and evolve. We all have to change. We all have to evolve. We all have to grow as we mature in our relationship, and as our relationship goes, you know, from stage to stage. Yes, we will have to make some changes. That's not what we're talking about. What we want you to remember is that you should not be trying to change your spouse into something else that you see that you think is better.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you're growing organically. And that you're not trying to force change based on something else that you've seen. We did a video about comparing and contrasting and the dangers of doing that. You don't want to do that, because you could actually turn this situation into something that you really don't want.
Because then it's going to make, like, if you were to say to me, why don't you say things how so-and-so says it? Or why don't you do this? I saw someone else do this and you should do it. That's going to make me feel some kind of way, like, you don't like the way that I do things now. It's just going to make me feel some kind of way. I'm going to become defensive, and then it's going to cause issues between the two of us, because now I'm thinking that you don't like what you see, or you don't like how I am, the person that you married, and now you're trying to change me into something else. It's just gonna not make me feel good.
Yeah, and there are ways to go about that, right? So if there's something that I need from you and something that you need from me, there's a type of conversation that you can have where you're expressing your specific needs.
Right. Yeah.
And you can do that. You can say, hey babe, you know what? I love it when you do such and such and such. It makes me feel a certain kind of way. I would love if you did that more. That's way different than saying, hey, you know what? Susan does it like this, you know, why don't you try that?
Right.
Because now you're comparing and contrasting, and you're trying to turn her into Susan.
Yeah.
And so that is our tip for you. What you see is what you get. You married who you married. Allow the growth to happen organically, and don't compare and contrast and try to turn them into something else that you saw.
That's good.
That you like.
Yeah.
All right? That's all we have for you today. God bless.
God bless.